Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to keep moving on this bucket garden. We've almost got it done. I think we're down to 3 buckets now. So guys, we're going to do kind of a combo video. We had some footage on planting okra, and we were going to make it its own video. It turned out really short because okra's not real complicated. So guys, we're going to tag that footage on the end here. We'll explain that here in a little bit. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plant some beans. And guys, we've got 2 different kinds of beans. We're going to plant green beans and we're going to plant yellow wax beans. So they're really good canned together or canned separately, but we enjoy them both. So we're going to dedicate 1 bucket to each, and we're going to show you how to do that. We'll bring the buckets up here. We'll start getting them set up, and then we'll cut back in and show you what we're up to. Alrighty guys, we're getting ready to do another couple buckets for the bucket garden, and as you can see, we've got them about half full of wood chips. We're going to be planting beans in them today. Beans are not deep rooters, so we don't have to use up a bunch of our soil that we made for our container garden. We have our wood chips out here. They're breaking down real nice in the middle of the pile, but we do still have a bunch of this pile we can use. But we're going to get these buckets filled up, and we're going to be planting green beans and wax beans, both of them bush varieties. But I'll tell you a little bit more about that here in a minute. Guys, the buckets have their drain holes. If you're new to the series, they are about 1/4 of an inch hole. There are 3 of them about 1/2 inch apart and about 1 inch up from the bottom. That allows the bucket to hold about a 1-inch reservoir of water in the bottom of it, and the wood chips help wick it up and keep the soil moist. So that's going to be our bucket setup here. We'll go ahead and get these filled up. We'll get Tina set up on the camera, and we'll show you how we're going to plant these beans. Alrighty guys, we're just finishing up getting these buckets filled up here. Well, leave them a little below the top. That way when you water, all your water doesn't just run off. The temptation is always to fill them to the brim, but you want them to catch some water in the heavy rain, but not too much. So we just leave them about somewhere between 1/2 inch and 1 inch from the top. So like I said, we're going to be planting 2 different kinds of, look at it, we already got a weed. We're going to be planting 2 different kinds of beans. We got a Rocdor. Rocdor is a yellow bean. And we got our Jade Beans. Jade's a good green bean. But they're both nice and straight. They're not quite as big around as some beans, but they are really good growers, and they're great for canning, especially if you like to can long beans. We like to stand them in the jars and can them long. But we're going to start out with the Jade beans. We're going to push them in about 1 inch deep or so. Beans can be pretty close together, couple inches. You'd be surprised what the yield out of a bucket can be from beans. But we'll go ahead and get a bunch of these in here. We order these by a packet of 1,000, and these are enough to get us through the beginning of the planting season in the garden, and we usually have a few left over for fall too. So we'll work our way around here. Like I said, these are our Jade beans, and from the time I cover these seeds up to the time they pop up out of the ground, I will pester Tina every day asking if the beans are up. I don't know why I'm always so curious about the beans, but
they always take like 1 day longer than you think they should.
Well, guys, those are the Jade beans. They're, like I said, they're a green bean. They will actually mature about 10 days faster than the wax beans, but we just hold them over. The Jade seeds were white. I'll show you these. These are black. So it's kind of funny to have a yellow bean with a black seed in it, but the seed does not turn black until it's very, very mature, past where you'd want to pick it. So at the length that you're going to want to pick them, you know, somewhere between 6 and 8 inches long, the seeds will still be a light cream color, and really, really good. If you're not a familiar with wax beans, and believe it or not, we have people ask us about them all the time. But if you're not familiar with wax beans, they pair really, really well with green beans. They taste a little bit like a green bean, but they don't have an off taste either. They just taste like a bean. But very good mixed in with green beans. That's how we can them. We usually cut them short, or we either cut them long, you know, and stand them in the jar, or we cut them short and just mix them together. Either way, they make a really nice presentation in a canning jar, but they are not hard to plant. We'll stick a few more in for good measure. But guys, that's going to be our Rocdor beans there, or our yellow beans, yellow wax. You'll hear them called that too, yellow beans or yellow wax beans. But we'll get these covered over here. We're just going to get a light coat of soil on them. We don't want to pack them down. Guys, if you've got real compact ground, you'll see the beans come up above the ground, and but they won't open up. They'll just get barely above the ground, usually the morning after it rains, but they won't grow any further than that, and that is called snakeheading. They actually look like a little snake poking their head up out of the ground. But we'll go ahead and get these covered down here. And like I said, they're a member of the legume family. As they grow, they'll take nitrogen from the air and store it in the soil. If you'd like them to do it at a better rate, they sell inoculates that you can add to you add them to water, and then you toss the seeds in the water. But the inoculate will actually help the enzyme in the ground attach to the roots and form the nodules that hold the nitrogen. But guys, that's pretty much going to be it for beans. We're probably going to add another feature in here and show you some footage from our okra video that just kind of busted. So guys, we'll tag that okra video on the end of here. We hope that you'll watch it too, but just kind of know it's kind of out of place because we don't have the intros, outros, and stuff for it. So guys, anyway, that's going to be our beans. We're going to get these over to the garden. And how many buckets we got left, Dee? 3?
I'm not sure.
I think we only got about 3 buckets left. So guys, if you've got ideas for what you want to see grown in a bucket, let us know. And if we've got seeds for it, or we can get it done for you, then we'll show you how to grow that too. But we only got 3 buckets left. So speak now or forever hold your peace. Alrighty guys, this is normally where we would say goodbye, but it's time to cut in with that okra footage. And I'm going to tell you, it doesn't have an introduction or an ending. So we'll be back after the footage to wish you guys well. But if you want to know how to plant okra in a bucket too, we're going to go ahead and include what footage we did get of it. And it should be enough to get you rolling at least. So guys, hang on 1 second. We're going to roll that okra footage, and then we'll be back afterwards. Alrighty guys, we're getting set up here to work on another one of the buckets for our bucket garden. But before we do that, we wanted to show you with the buckets, we've drilled 3 holes in the side of them. They're about 1/4 of an inch in diameter. They're about 1/2 an inch apart and about 1 inch up from the bottom. And what that allows is for drainage. It also allows for an inch deep reservoir of water inside the bucket. On top of on the bottom of the bucket, we put our wood chips. We've got some wood chips out here. And those will act like a wicking agent. They'll wick that water back up to the soil. And then we've got the bucket filled with the container mix soil that you saw us make the other day. We've got a great big old pile of it that we're working through. And just trying to get this bucket garden put together for y'all. So you guys can see what we're up to with that. So what do you think of the bucket garden so far, T?
Cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
But guys, we're just gonna, it's a real simple video. It's not gonna take real long, but we'll put some okra in there, and we'll talk to you along the way about maybe little hints and tips you can do with your okra. Alrighty guys, we're gonna get this okra planted. And what we're gonna do is, it likes to be about 1 inch deep, so about 1.5 knuckles. We're gonna put these, you know, maybe 4 inches apart or so. We're not going to try to cram too many in here because it's just kind of pointless. They won't grow right if we do jam them in too many. But I think 6 will do just fine. What we're going to do, if you've never seen okra seed before, That's what it looks like. You see it? We're going to go ahead, we're going to put 2 to a hole. And then we will thin it down to 1 plant for each hole. But for now, we're just going to start out with 2 seeds. And that bucket there, if this actually works in a bucket, that bucket there would probably keep us in okra all year long. It's amazing. I see people plant long rows of okra and I just kind of cringe. It puts off so much okra. I mean, we're from the south and we like okra. But guys, what we're going to do, we'll get these covered up here. We're just going to put a real light coat of soil on top of them. Not a real big deal. Just throw a little bit around each hole. And we're not going to pack it down. We want them to have an easy time coming up through there. But guys, let's see, little tips on growing okra. 1, it grows really, really tall. 2, it grows really, really fast.
Yeah.
3, you have to check it every day for new okra. A lot of people have questions. We get a lot of questions about how big the okra should be when you pick it. The rule of thumb is your thumb. When okra gets to be the length of your thumb, it's time to pick it. While it's still nice and tender, it won't be real fibrous for you. If it gets much beyond that, it gets a little tough. But don't feel bad for picking off small okra, man. That's when they're the absolute best. But we like to have them. We make pickled okra, and we use it in our gumbo and a little bit in our jambalaya. But guys, that's going to be about it for planting okra. I don't know what else to say about it. You got anything to add?
Pick it while it's small or it's chicken food.
Yeah, it'll just become chicken food. But guys, we'll go ahead. We're going to add this one back to the bucket garden. And we're going to move on and see what other kind of trouble we can get into. But Dina and I will be back in just a minute to talk to you. And guys, that's going to be okra. Alrighty guys, that's about going to do it for our beans and okra video. But I don't know how we cut that combination. But
it just works that way.
It just works that way. So guys, we hope you enjoyed the okra footage along with the green bean footage. If you would, if you enjoy the content here on the channel, please subscribe. We could really use your support. But down next to the subscribe button is a bell. And if you'll ring that bell, that'll send you a notification whenever we're making other strange combinations in our garden. But guys, if you enjoyed the video today, please give it a thumbs up. And leave us a question or comment down below. And I don't know, we're sure to get to it. If we don't know the answer, we'll find one. But guys, there's not a whole lot more to say. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. We hope you enjoyed the video. We'll catch you in the next one.